Morning, everyone. Thank you very much. To start with, I'm not very good at PowerPoint, so I got my apprentice to do it for me. I didn't realise he was going to start with a huge picture of me right at the front. I'm supposed to come a little bit later, but anyway, thank you. Yeah, thanks for turning out. So print. I want to explain a little bit about why I ended up standing here talking about print. One of the hats that I wear these days is I'm managing director of Scribble and Ink, which is our graphic design studio down in Newton Abbot. And since I've been doing that, I've kind of developed a curious passion for all things design and all things print. Darren Gray is a good friend of mine. We're big on poses in our place. He's a good friend of mine, and he's a creative director of our company. And I've really enjoyed journeying with him over the last 3 years, seeking to understand the inner workings of a creative mind. I'm learning about form and font and colour and palette and stock and medium and all those kind of things. And now I'm an absolute advocate for the importance of printed media in your marketing mix. Whole thing started when I bought a little company called Inkos Limited. All the company was doing was selling ink cartridges, and I didn't really like the company. I didn't really like the industry. I didn't really like the business. But back then I thought I was cleverer than I actually am. And so I bought it and decided I could turn it around just by waving some pixie dust in the office and watching the customers come flocking in. But they didn't. So I've had a long learning period. But the first course of action we had was to rebrand the business, because our brand was stuck to, it was called Ink Cost. So it was stuck to selling ink at a cost, and that wasn't great. It took me 3 months to come up with Scribble and Ink. We were taking photos, writing on a flip chart, getting excited, getting disillusioned. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it does work. It was 3 months of driving everyone in my business mad, and it was 3 months of driving me mad too. And during that process, I met Darren. He was working for a marketing company in Exeter. And so the two of us got together, and he helped me to put this brand thing together. I met him in the BNI actually. So I joined the BNI when I went to Newton Abbot because I didn't know anyone, and because he was in the group and we got to know each other, I went to him to rebrand, because that's how networking works. We join together, we do business with people we know, like and trust, don't we? And to be fair, that's been a really good experience for me. I'm not sure I was his favourite client though at the beginning, because I used to go to his office and stand behind him and help him design our logos and brands until he threw me out. But eventually we got there. And after 3 months, and we spent a few quid and much stress, we came up with this brand. Perhaps if I'd have known Jonathan way back in the beginning, I might have been a lot less stressful and it might have been a lot quicker. But there we are. That was 5 years ago. That was January 2014. By the time we finished the process, we had a catalogue, we had letterheads, we had business cards, we had flyers, a website, we had the whole 9 yards. And I felt good about it. It was nice to have a brand that I liked, that I come up with, that my customers seemed to like, and it made such a difference to how I felt about doing business. Since that day, our business has grown, and we've got a wider product range, we have more staff, we have a wider reach, we have our own design studio, and we're now doing for other businesses what Darren did for me way back when. Coming up with a brand, Scribble and Think, took 3 minutes rather than 3 months. It was quite easy for us to do, so that was the brand of our design studio. And since we've been doing this, I have seen how businesses present themselves to new and existing customers in such a way that sales grow, brand awareness increases, and loyalty deepens. I've seen how print works, whether it's a catalogue, whether it's a direct mail pack, whether it's point of sale collateral. There's something about this tactile and versatile medium that engages the senses. But the other thing I've learned about print is this. It's all about the design. Poorly designed print is just as effective as poorly designed anything else. It isn't effective at all. So yes, I've seen how print works as part of the marketing mix. It works brilliantly for our clients, but I know that it only works when we are printing stuff that's been properly designed, properly thought about, and has a very clear message. So why me? Why am I here? Because every single day I work in an environment where I see how print works for us and how print works for our customers. But I also see that it only works when it's well designed. So, print works because it engages multiple senses. Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our world feels plastic? Doesn't it seem to you that most of our wor We spend all day touching mobile phones, computer keyboards, TV remotes, clickers for PowerPoints. It's nice every now and again to touch something that's printed, that's a newspaper or a book or something different than plastic. The feel of paper and glossy pages or matte stock, the smell of ink, these sensory experiences are a big part of being human. But perhaps because we are engaging with print and paper a lot less than we used to, when we do, it becomes ever more significant. Could it be that those interactions more and more become the things that memories are made of? We remember the feel, the weight, the visuals, the smell, the texture, and more. Because when we trigger multiple senses, when we, rather than just sight, the effectiveness of print advertising becomes greater. Martin Lindstrom wrote a book called Brand Sense when he suggests that when brands appeal to more than 3 senses, they will be more successful with their advertising efforts than brands who don't. It's a fascinating read. You're attending a seminar, and some of you are making notes, and some of you are doodling, and some of you are scribbling. You take out pen and paper, and when you do that, you engage more than one sense. Most lecturers will ask you to take notes in their lectures because they know that by taking notes, by highlighting, by scribbling, by doodling your way through a seminar, you will learn more, retain more, think more. Why? Because we're engaging multiple senses. And when we engage multiple senses, our brain processes messages differently. The more senses you engage, the greater the understanding and the deeper the absorption level of the content. Yes, you can ask for slides after the event, but having taken the effort to write and draw and doodle your way through a session, the additional senses you have used will have increased the information you've been able to retain. It's not dissimilar to using print in your marketing mix. The physical contact of a tactile product combined with a message that has value can leave a stronger brand impression than the same message delivered via a digital channel. People value something they can touch and something they can feel more highly than something they just see. So if print engages the senses, let's remember that well-designed print will engage the senses more. Print works because it engages the senses. It engages the senses when it's well-designed. Print works because it creates a true engagement. Much of the content that's online doesn't truly engage. Well, it's not that it doesn't engage, it's more that we, human beings, don't engage quite as well with it. For many of us, we have become hugely impatient when we surf the net. When we're shopping online, reading blogs, or looking at stuff, we're flicking from one thing to the other, and if things are slow to load, we switch to the next thing. We don't feel we have the time to stop and read a whole article or a blog post, so we merely skim and move on to the next, and we skim and move on to the next, and we skim and move on to the next. We have become a generation with tiny attention spans who love sound bites, who skim read and try and get loads done quickly rather than less done well. And pretty much all of it whilst we're gazing at a screen. Readers of print have a longer attention span because print doesn't give you the same level of distraction. It's called deep reading. And the act of deep reading creates deep thinking, which means readers become fully engaged in the content. I listen to books, I read books on Kindle, I read books on books, and I listen to books on audio. So I have an Audible account, I listen to Audible on the way into work every day. I'm learning things, I think. I've got a Kindle, I read that whenever I've got some downtime. But if I really want to sit down and read, I take out a book. Because if I take out a book, I get engrossed in it. If I've got an hour, I'm going to do some reading. I'll read it on a page because I sit in the corner and I turn the light on and I read and I'm engrossed. My Kindle is my time for downtime. If I've got some time when I'm waiting for a bus or I'm waiting for a train or I'm waiting for a plane or I'm picking the kids up from wherever, I got my Kindle, I can read. When I'm driving, I'm doing something else, but I still feel like I'm learning. But I want to actually read and understand something, or I want to get engrossed in a novel, to sit down with a book and read through those pages. There's a deeper level of engagement. The real key to successful marketing is to engage your prospect at this deeper level. to entice them to gain their full intention with great content before you present them with your valuable offer. Print is so effective in this regard because people slow down when they've got a magazine or a newspaper or a book or a well-designed mail piece in their hands and they actually read it. Not just the news, but the ads as well. In the printed world, the ads are pretty much a part of the reading experience as the editorial content, whereas online and on screen, the experience has made us more adept at skimming much of that advertising content. Print works because it creates true engagement. It generates true engagement, properly well designed. Print works because it's viewed as being more trustworthy. We live in a world dominated by fake news. I think we would probably attribute that expression to the current president of the good old US of A, but in reality it's been around for a while. The trend has been increasing steadily over recent years, where we're hearing constantly about fake news, fake stories, fake charities, fake everything. Because putting content out there online is cheap, it's quick, it's easy, it's anonymous, anyone can do it, and anyone can say anything, and we tend to believe them. So who do we trust? Do we trust the BBC? Do we trust CNN? Do we trust Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn? We digest massive amounts of information via the social media platforms where it is easy to post anything. Is it any wonder that people are mistrusting of the things that they read? The name Cambridge Analytica will be remembered for generations by people of our generation, because that was the moment when most of us realised that Facebook had been in and taken from us. I think up to that point, I quite trusted Facebook. I probably quite trusted Twitter. I probably quite trusted everybody, actually, because I'm a West Country boy and I trust anyone. They're nice people. But Cambridge Analytica robbed me of that naivety and that innocence. Amen? They just did. And it's not just them. It's this whole thing about fake news has become a part of what we do. The reality is that print is different. If you're going to the expense and the effort of printing something, it brings with it a measure of trust. Because it was not easy to do. You had to put the money into it, you had to put your time into it, and you communicate effectively with your target audience, you are well on your way to being trusted by that audience. Print something that communicates trust. Your business card is often the first opportunity you have to put your brand in the hand of a prospect. How it is designed and how it is printed and how it makes you feel and look are key elements of that first impression when you meet someone new. If you are asking people to trust you and you are selling a high-value, high-skill product or service, present a card that looks and feels like you can deliver what you say you can deliver. I say to you that print works. And I say to you that print works because it is viewed as more trustworthy, but it is only viewed as trustworthy when it's well designed. Print works because it stands out. The digital marketing landscape is overwhelming. Social media networking sites are constantly refreshing feeds, headlines on news sites and popular blogs change by the minute. Carefully selecting the right print marketing materials can help your brand stand out in the midst of all that noise. People's perception has changed along with the technological revolution. It wasn't so long ago that when you went to collect the mail, you were likely to be inundated with mass mailings and letters and stuff from every kind of industry, religion, charity and company. Today, or this morning, if you went out to your letterbox and you picked up your mail, I will pretty much guarantee you had 2 bills, 1 direct mail and 1 pamphlet. That was probably it. But if you open your inbox before you came in here, it probably took you 15 minutes to delete the rubbish. Unless you've got a really good spam filter, which thankfully we do have, the amount of stuff that comes in your inbox now that you've just got to get rid of is ridiculous. We used to think email marketing was the golden ticket, and perhaps for a while it was, but now there are so many players and so much noise. How can we possibly differentiate ourselves through email alone? Things have changed. Today, people read print in a way that they don't read email. If you go to your front door and you collect 2 pieces of direct mail, I guarantee you both pieces will be read. Both pieces will get your information, will get your attention for at least the 30-second walk from the front door to the kitchen waste paper basket. And 30 seconds in marketing speak is a lifetime. You have 30 seconds to get someone's attention. No one else is shouting out at that moment. It's just you and maybe one other guy. And you've got 30 seconds to communicate something of value to a prospect. You can make him smile, you can make him smile, you can make him engaged, you can make him question. You've got 30 seconds. And that, people, is a lifetime. Recently, I was sent a coconut in the post. Genuinely, this company sent me a coconut in a white box. It was a white square box, and it came to my office, and I opened it, and in there was nothing but a coconut, right? How much money did it cost them to do this? I have no idea. It was a coconut, and I opened the box lid, and on the lid it just said, "You are a tough nut to crack." I have never forgotten it. It came 12 months ago. It came from a company that works in our sector that sells effectively a back office system for office supplies companies. So there aren't many of us around. There's probably 1,400 of us in the country. They're probably chasing 250 of those. They probably sent out 250 coconuts. I've never forgotten it. This year, they sent me 5 oranges in a box, right? 5 oranges in a box. How ridiculous is this? 5 oranges in a box. One of those oranges was a chocolate orange, right? I cannot remember the strap line on that box. I wish I could now, but I can't. I can't remember what the strap line was, but I do remember the chocolate, and I enjoyed it a lot. And here's the thing. I didn't buy from them the first time. I didn't buy from them the second time. I am telling you about it, and the day I am looking for a back office supplier, who do you think I'm going to call first? I'm absolutely going to call them, because they're innovative and they're fun and they get me and I get them, and I think it's really cool. But that's just a thing. That's how you can engage your prospects with print. If you're imaginative and things are well designed, stuff happens.
They didn't print on the coconut.
They didn't print on the coconut, they printed on the box. One of our most successful campaigns has been to send a really nice letter on nice paper with a breakfast tea bag and a little thing. One of our coasters that says on it, "Scribble and Ink, have a brew on us." And we send it out to our prospects. And the letter intimates that the recipient is way too busy and deserves a break, and that we might be able to help them create that space so that they can have a drink once in a while. We sent this letter to the office managers of companies we want to supply. You would not believe the number of people who, because I follow up with a phone call. So it goes out and 3 or 4 days later I phone them up. You wouldn't believe the number of people who answered a phone call with, "Oh, so you're the guy with the tea bag." We try that as well on email. So we send out an email, which is cheaper and quicker and much faster, but it has no way near the same effect. We still get business from doing the email, but actually we go back to the printed medium because that creates more engagement. Turning a cold conversation into a warm one by using print creatively and personally is the way. Print works because it stands out, but it only stands out when it's well designed. Print works because it can be personal. Another way to make an impact with print is personalization. With today's digital printing technology, it is possible to make every piece unique and relevant to the recipient. Personalization makes the recipient feel special. It engages the senses and generates a smile in the way an online presentation could only dream of. Take the time to understand your customer's persona, understand their demographic profile. Armed with that kind of level of information, personalize your printed material and make the message more relevant and applicable. A little thing we do for our customers lately, we've been doing it for the last 12 months now, is we give them a personalised mug. So we have a mug, a bit like the mugs you're using today, but have their name written on the one side and our brand written on the other side. Our customers love them. It makes them feel special, it makes them feel, it makes them feel engaged, they absolutely love it. It creates for us an emotional hook with our customer. It builds loyalty and engagement, and it costs us less than a £5. They love it so much that a few have ordered mugs for the other people in their office. We started doing them, by the way, right? So we did them for our own people in our own office. Got fed up of washing cups. I got fed up of washing cups. So I said, right, stop. I'm going to put your name on it. Everyone's name on a cup. So it's your cup, one wash up each day. Jobs are good. And then we moved that on to as a marketing piece, and it's been absolutely flipping brilliant. But here's the thing. Our mugs are well designed. They're colourful, they're engaging, they're bright. The girls, because it's mostly girls that in the offices, they love them. And it's just a good thing. Personalised print marketing is especially valuable for reaching out, I think, to existing customers. You have a history with them, you know them, you can tailor promotions to them. And you'll experience as well as I do that the biggest companies are now getting this off to fine art. How often have you had stuff delivered through your mailbox from Tesco's or from Domino's or Pizza Hut, wherever it is you buy from regularly? And they'll send something personal to you where it knows what you've been buying, and they offer you something similar to buy, and it's come direct in the mail, and that sort of stuff happenings. The bigger companies are targeting using digital printing to be able to produce media that's tailored personally for you. We now send anniversary cards to our customers on the date they first started buying from us. We call them Inkiversary cards. Scribble and Ink. All right, it's not clever, but we liked it. But we do that because as we personalize these notes to actual people in companies, because actually we don't do business with companies, we do business with people. And the more we can make those people feel special and loved and appreciated, the stronger that emotional hook, the greater the level of engagement, and the higher up Jonathan's chart those customers will go. Print works because it can be personal. It works best when it's well designed. Print also works because it's kept and shared. If the print you're doing has a quality and appeal, if it's interesting and it's nice to hold, people will keep it and share it. If it's aesthetically pleasing, they'll be happy to show it to people. But if it's poorly printed and not well thought out, the likelihood is it'll go straight to the waste paper basket. The best kind of print we find that is kept and shared is branded merchandise. Notebooks, pens, wallets, blah, blah, blah. If you visit one of my customers, you'll see they've got one of my pens, they'll have one of my doodle pads, they'll have one of my mugs, they'll have something from me on their desk. We like to keep things on our customers' desk because it reminds them of us. Because if it's on their desk, we're kept in their mind, we're on their radar, and we're right by the phone. The better quality the gift, or the more you've thought about what that person was going to use on a daily basis, the more use that is and the longer it'll be kept. Print works because it's kept and it's shared. So, diversifying your marketing or your content strategy in 2019. When most people talk about diversifying their content strategy, they immediately think about incorporating some new digital method they aren't currently using. So if you're not using Instagram, we'll use Instagram. If you're not using Twitter, we'll use Twitter. We're going to use infographics, we're going to do live streaming, we're going to do video, we're going to start doing blog posts. However, true diversification would look like exploring other mediums that are different and engaging. The internet has permanently altered marketing. And while there's no turning back from our digitized ways, it would be foolish to suggest that social media, video, and blog posts are the only methods of content marketing that are effective. Just like retro styles have a place in interior design and fashion, print marketing still has a place in business. It's just like diets. A high consumption of only one medium will never be successful in the long run. And I believe print certainly has its place in a healthy, balanced marketing mix. Don't get me wrong, we have a multi-channel marketing approach. We market online, we market through emails, we market through social media, we market through our website, but we also market with print. So why not think about considering print as part of a multi-channel campaign? So why does print make sense as part of your marketing mix? Because it triggers multiple senses. Because it creates true engagement, because it's viewed as more trustworthy, it stands out, it can be personal, and it goes quickly. It can be kept and shared. But here's the thing, and this is my big thing, I guess. The noise in the printed space is much less these days than the noise in the digital space. Because everyone is moving to digital because it's cheaper. But the truth is this: whatever you are doing, however you are trying to communicate, success or failure will not depend on the medium, it will depend on the message, and it will depend on the design, and it will depend on the way you have thought it through. The visuals and the message, how these are crafted, how these attract, how these engage, how these connect with your prospect and customer, these are the things that will make a difference. Badly designed print is as bad as badly designed Facebook ads. It's as bad as a badly designed website. It's as bad as a badly designed banner ad. It's as bad as anything you will ever design badly. Design it badly, it simply won't work. But I say, stand out, get noticed, use great design, and print for Britain. Thank you very much.